Hi guys, welcome back. So today we'll be taking a look at the most of the Chinese stocks listed in the US. So before we begin, remember to take a second to give the video a like and subscribe as you greatly help our channel. Without further ado, let's first start off with Alibaba or BABA. So you can see that Alibaba has been hovering around the 23.6% at 89.30 from its recent low of 78.01 to a recent high of 125.84. So essentially, it is already at its last Fibonacci support level. So this puts us in a very good position to actually go back to retest $80 or even the potentially the 78.01 previous low. In the event that we actually manage to punch up, then two resistance to watch will be at one at $93, and the second resistance will be around 97.50 to 97.60. If we can punch up even further, then we are looking towards around the $100 psychological resistance, which coincides with the cloud resistance as well. Let's move on to Tencent. So for Tencent, you can see that it already started creating new lows, but we seem to have bounced off for a couple of days. And hopefully we can continue for the first resistance to clear will be 40.11. Second will be 42, 44, and even 45. So there are a lot of resistance on the way up for Tencent. So hopefully we can go and test this cloud resistance. In the event that we cannot punch up this cloud resistance, there is a very good chance for us to fall even further. Moving on to NetEase. So NetEase did not really have a very good week. You can see on this particular day here, we actually hit this cloud resistance after we hover around the 50% Fibonacci around 88.7 for quite a period of time. That said, on this particular day, you can see that there was a very bearish red candle here. I'm not exactly sure what happened, probably due to earnings. And it seems to be very bearish. So we immediately fell to supports after breaking in 61.8% and even hit this 38.2% at around $83, $84. So in the event that we actually break down this critical support at 38.2, in fact, it was well supported a couple of times. We are in a very good position to actually break this $80 psychological support and even test this last support here at $78. Very similar situation like Alibaba. So hopefully this 78.10 can hold. If not, it's a very good chance for us to head back towards 68, 62. Not forgetting there's also a gap here that needs to be closed. So these gaps may be closed one particular day. Resistance to watch for now will be around 92 and also $90. Let's move on to NIO. So as you can see, NIO broke down its 61.8%, which is very critical. So 1956 broke down and we closed the week just above the $19 psychological support level. Next week, if we were to break down further, then 1805 and 1655 may act as a potential support for NIO. Currently, we are in the cloud. So on the way down, the cloud will act as a support. So do bear in mind that buyers will be stepping in at around this area here. Resistance to clear will be around 2020 and also 2040, just around this blue conversion line and with baseline as well. Moving on to JD. So JD started to turn bearish. You can see that after it broke down this 50%, we are barely holding this 30.2% at $35. So this puts us in a very good position next week to actually retest this 23.6% at around $52. There is also a gap here that needs to be closed. You can see that this low was around say 51.61 and this high was around 54.64. So if we can hit around 51.61 and close the gap and bounce off from here, that would be a good position for JD moving forward. Well, two resistance to watch would be actually this blue conversion line at around $56, and the next one will be around the $60 psychological resistance level. On the way up, not forgetting the cloud will definitely act as a resistance for JD.com. So hopefully can punch up with good volume. Next up, we have Baidu. So Baidu, you can see that we're barely holding the cloud area here. If we do not form a double bottom and bounce off next week, it is a very bad position. In fact, you can see that 50% is barely holding at 129. So next week is a very good chance for us to actually visit this 38.2% at 122 levels and potentially even closing this particular gap here at around this low was around 116. So 116 to 116 to around 124. There is a bit of quite a big gap, maybe about $8 to $10 gap for Baidu to be closed. In the event that this does not hold, then it's a good chance for us to hold some support at around 114.74. Resistance to watch will be around this 135 and 137 levels, which is very close. This red baseline and blue conversion line, they are close to each other. Next up, we have PDD. So PDD is a very similar situation. We already started breaking out 50% and actually 38.2%, 45, 41 is not holding too good. So very much testing this support, and it seems that we may break it next week and to retest the $40 psychological support level, which is key for PDD. Likewise, if we were to break down further, then 3101 would reset most of the thing, where you can see more buyers are stepping in at around this level here. Resistance to watch will be around 48 and also $51, as this cloud is also pretty thick. So in the event that we were to punch up, we will see a lot of resistance similar to this particular days here. You can see that there were many resistance on the way up to the cloud resistance level. So for KWEB, you can see that equally bearish, just like all other stocks. We are barely holding this key support level here. So like next week, there's a very good chance for us to break down further to actually head towards this 23.6% at 26, 23, or even potentially resetting everything at 23.72. Resistance to watch will be around $28 to $29, which coincides with this cloud resistance as well. So for CWEB, equally bad. You can see that it's really at this 23.6%. So for us to break down is of no surprise. It's a good chance for us to actually retest this $40 or 40.40 to be precise. Two resistance to watch would be around 53 and also 56.79. Lastly, we have FXI. So FXI, you can see that it already broke down its 23.6%. It hold for a while, temporary, but it seems like the sellers are dominating the market. And next week, we may potentially revisit 27.83 as a potential support for FXI. So just like similar other ETFs, you can see that it's all equally bearish. So resistance to watch would be around 29.86 and also 30.60 for FXI. So overall, it seems pretty bearish for all the Chinese stocks. In the event that we do not start bouncing off next week, then it puts us in a very bad position, potentially even retesting the recent lows. So if there's any changes, I'll give you guys an update. Thanks for stopping by. Till we meet again, appreciate your manipulation.